Hello, everyone. It's Mayor Jack Allen, and I want to welcome you to our Veterans Day luncheon put on by the Chamber. We can't say enough about the different organizations that do things for veterans, and we're having a luncheon here, probably about 60 to 80 people. So all you veterans out there, thank you for your service, and good luck.
I'm with Mike Matasic at Bethel Park, and Mike is going to talk to you a little bit about how wonderful it is to have a companion dog to a veteran.
Hi, thanks, Connie. Hi, my name is Mike Matasic. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran. I was in the Air Force for 15 years, medically discharged. Did a few tours overseas, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan. Came home, a little bit of an issue, PTSD, some depression, things like that. But overall, I did end up getting a support dog. His name is Sonny. He's been with me for 7 years now, and he's a great comfort. He's someone who just knows when things are getting a little off, getting a little different with me. He knows when to come on my lap. He knows when to come to me. He's just been a great addition to my life. Very helpful in many different ways. He doesn't go everywhere with me, but he does go a lot of places with me, and it's just a comfort to have him there. Again, appreciate Connie, what she does for veterans and the Bethel Park Chamber of Commerce. And please, if you're interested, please get with Connie. She can help you out and get you a support dog. It's a tremendous help, and I look forward to Connie looks forward to helping you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. We have a program we are partners with Animal Friends, and we get companion dogs at our expense, not yours. So if you're interested, please contact us. Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for being such a good partner. The program is sponsored by Animal Friends in the North Hills, but covers the entire area. And the program is called Animal Friends for Veterans. There is a high need for animal companionship among veterans, certainly from the most severely challenged, but to those who have come back and they feel unresolved stress. And our program provides veterans, and they don't have to own up to having any sort of a challenge. We will provide a dog, a cat, or a domesticated bunny fee-free to any veteran. In addition, we will provide services at low cost or no cost, depending, and we don't have time to go through them now, but the website, Google Animal Friends for Veterans, will tell you all about those programs. The bottom line is we support our veterans, we want them to be safe, we want them to be comfortable, and we believe we're addressing a problem that's very real for our veterans. So thank you, Connie, for allowing us and for being partners.
Good morning, everyone. If you can stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, that would be great. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, please be seated. Is that what you want? Okay. Lord, we thank you for the food that you have provided us on this day. We thank you for the people that have prepared the food. And we also thank the Chamber for sponsoring this event. But most of all, we thank all the veterans whose courage and fight made this day and every day possible. Amen.
I just want to take a few minutes before we start to eat to thank you all for attending our annual Veterans event here. I want to thank all the sponsors, you see their names on the wall there, who have supported us, and to introduce our major Stars and Stripes sponsors here. Big Fish, okay, RC Mechanical. Okay, we want to thank them for being our major sponsors for this event. I want to say that hope that you all got your Paws for Vets pins. This is to promote our annual program that runs all year. So if any of you would like to get a pet, we work with Animal Friends. Please contact the Chamber, Animal Friends, and let us know. We'll have a raffle basket up front. Make sure that you got your tickets. We want to thank Rowdy Barbecue again. Every year he comes through for us for supplying the meal. He and Sam's of West Mifflin and Artis Senior Management. Also the municipality for the use of these facilities. Dave Cable and Harry Funk for coming out and taking care of the PR. Last but not least, I want to thank all of our chamber members who came to help today. Would you stand up a minute? Chamber members and board. Okay. Well, thank you all for your help. And also want to introduce Joe Janisak, representing Council today. So glad you could make it, Joe.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Veterans Day. And to all veterans, thank you for your service. Oh, you don't want to miss the opening joke. You want to listen to me, guys. Whoa! Thank you. I want to say thank you for your service, and I mean it sincerely, for all veterans. And a special shout out to the Honor Guard that comforts families. They're here seated at that table. I also must add to my brother and sister Marines, happy birthday. This is the Marine Corps birthday. Give it to me. All right. Now, pop quiz. Devlin, talking about Marines, multiple tours, Devlin Robinson, Natalie Mahalik, our state representatives and senator. This is the pop quiz. What must you do to determine someone is a Marine? You know the answer, so you can't do it. Come on, give me some. The answer is nothing. They will tell you. This is fast. This is Animal Friends for Veterans. This is a program that started 8 years ago. Animal Friends was in the Strip District since it started taking in the animals of departing service members in 1943. And now what we're doing is turning it around, and we're placing animals with service, veterans, and active duty. This will be a dog, a cat, or even a domesticated bunny. Don't laugh. They'll use the litter box. They'll act just like a cat in the house. Let's get serious for a minute. We all know the statistic. 22 veteran suicides a day. That came from a 9-state study that was extrapolated out to all 50. And I will suggest to you that it's understated. When a veteran dies under a bridge downtown, that's an elongated suicide, in my opinion. So what we need to do is to intervene with veterans. If they present themselves, the VA does a wonderful job. The VA does do a good job. There was a period when they were overwhelmed. They've righted that ship, and they're doing a good job. But not everybody presents themselves for good treatment. And even those that do, the Combat Stress Unit of the VA sends their members to Animal Friends for a companion animal. The animal that will be given to you is fee-free. There will also be additional benefits accruing to you. Training programs at very low cost. If you need specialized training for your animal, and I'm going to give you one quick example, that's free. We train that dog. Yeah, you can train a cat, but I'm talking about a dog for your special needs. We will train. Give you a quick example, and this was our very first placement 8 years ago, and we didn't have to train the dog. A veteran was sent by the VA to us, came out in public transportation, was too backward, I guess, and didn't say anything to anyone and left. He went back to his counselor. The counselor sent him back to us again, but alerted us he was coming. So we took him through, and he and an older boxer girl, improbably named Mike, matched up. You know the animals pick you, you don't pick them, right? If you've ever adopted. So he took Mike home. We took them home. We gave him everything that he needed. He was afraid to go outside and walk. He lived in McKeesport. He was afraid to go out and walk alone. He had to take Mike out to walk her because he did not have a fenced yard. And when he did, Mike instinctively sensed his apprehension, would sit down between him and the passerby until that passerby went, and then they'd go on with their walk. He was now getting out every day, several times a day, to walk Mike. The other thing is, this veteran, unnamed, stayed up late at night, most of the night watching TV, and slept a lot of the day. That didn't suit Mike. Mike went up at bedtime. The veteran didn't follow him. She went back down, she stared at him, and she kept doing it until he went up, and then he was sleeping regular nights, he was getting exercise, he was eating better. Mike has now died, that was 8 years ago, and he has his second dog. This is all free to the veteran. Sonny Hanlon, wearing the bush hat over there, will be at our table. Help yourself to a brochure. If you know of any veterans who could benefit, please do that. If you're part of other organizations, detachments, take some of our brochures. Sonny and I will be happy to come out and address your unit or your detachment. One last thing. Animal Friends has a program, just because we're all generally in an age category. I have dogs and cats. I have grown children, grandchildren, but they might not be able to take my animals if something happens to me. And I worry about that, and I know you do too. Well, we have the Lifesaver Society at Animal Friends, where we will contract with you to take your animal. We're a no-kill shelter. We will make sure that you have great placement, that your animal will be checked on regularly throughout its life to make sure nothing's changed, and that animal will never be euthanized for financial reasons. We'll cover it because we have a wellness center on campus. So thank you for allowing me to come out and talk to you. Happy Veterans Day to you all.
We certainly have all the Marines represented today. Even our speaker at the moment is also a former Marine. Haya Eason. Haya is a female Marine, married to a Marine, and is now employed by the Bethel Park Municipality. Haya?
Good morning again to everyone. Thank you so very much for coming out today. The day did not look like it was going to be as beautiful as it is, and there are other veteran events that you could have registered for and paid for and certainly given your time for. November is a very busy month for veterans. November 10th, 1987 is the National POW MIA Recognition Day. It's also the Marine Corps birthday today on November 10th. Hoorah! Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and November is also Military Family Appreciation Month. So yes, it is a very busy month, and we are glad that it is. To all of the dignitaries, municipal staff, and municipal representatives, to the community center, again, to all of you who have come, my name is Haya Eason. I work for the municipality. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. And usually when people ask me to speak, it's on something very specific, like VSO for American Legion, Marine Corps League, Marine Corps Service, 0100 Military Administration. What was it like to serve at the time that I served? But Ms. Connie Rule asked me to speak about being a woman veteran. And those of you who are veterans in the room, you know that our service is layered. It is about when we went in, why we went in, who we left behind, who was left behind where we served, what was happening when we returned, and our welcome and reception when we set foot back in the United States. So with that, I'm just going to say a few things about my time as a woman in the Marine Corps. I come from a family of veterans, but I didn't know it at the time I enlisted. Shy and a solid C student, I had seen the recruiters at my high school, but didn't stop by the table to ask any questions. I told my parents I wanted to enlist in the Marines in the delayed entry program, and I did. My mother, a teacher, screamed and cried. My father, the Korean War veteran who served after graduating because he was drafted, graduating from college, he never spoke a word about his military service. He said, let her go. She'll learn some responsibility and some independence. And so I did. Why the Marines? My boyfriend enlisted, and I was athletic, and I thought I could get through it. I did, and he didn't. Medical discharge, but he didn't. I took the ASVAB test and scored high on 0100 military administration, passed the physical, and a few weeks later, before commencement, I went off to boot camp. I had no expectations, just direction. And now I had to follow the screaming drill instructors who lived for the opportunity to do it. I do have a little prop here, if you'll give me a moment. Bring back memories for some of you. My recruiter was male. My drill instructors were female. In admin school, we had a mix of male and female, and most of our unit members were more male than female. We knew not many had confidence in us, and we were thought to be a waste of the government's time, money, and resources. So what do you do when there doesn't seem to be a space for you? I learned you make a space for yourself. Someone has and always will want you to fail or falter, and you may never receive what is due your time, effort, and sacrifice, but you carry on. Thankfully, along the way, there were senior enlisted and officers, as well as civilian personnel, who recognized my work, and over time, I became knowledgeable and more confident in my ability to do my job well. Yes, there was harassment, disrespect, and disdain. Most recruits were encountering people from different backgrounds and from places we had never been or even passed through. We were all lumped together on purpose, for a purpose. We trained to work alongside those different from who we were and work to do it well or take it outside. Being a woman Marine veteran post-discharge. For many who serve, re-enlistment is an easy decision. There could be a field or MOS change, a monetary bonus, and even a first choice of a new duty station. Or you already have family and intend to stay in until retirement. I had already served more years than initially intended. I traveled and volunteered for every deployment available, enjoyed living, working, recreating, and serving alongside newfound friends that became my lifelong friends and fellow Marines. I received my sergeant's stripe and now needed to give serious consideration to re-enlistment. I chose a 2-year retention on station. While I had beat the odds and had earned the respect of several of my peers, senior staff NCOs and admin officers, I knew I liked serving in the military, but I did not love it. And my next assignment was going to be a B-billet, drill instructor or recruiter. I was honorably discharged in 1990. Who cares that she served? Since moving to BP, Bethel Park, I had been quietly attending the Legion's Memorial Day ceremony at the Flag Plaza, the parade and the cemetery service that followed. Fast forward to 2011, while working on my former job, an Army veteran who I would talk to in the lunchroom from time to time thought, "You would really like going to a VBC event." I said, "What's VBC?" "Well, that's the Veterans Breakfast Club. It's hosted by professor and historian Todd DiPestino." I decided to take a morning off and go. I registered, and when I walked up to the registration table, I was greeted respectfully and honorably at the door. It was a large venue, so I scanned the room, walked along the side wall, all the way along the back wall to the last table in the corner. And guess whose table that was? Todd DiPestino's. So he took the microphone and cut through the room and came all the way to me and began to speak to me. He acknowledged that there was a veteran, a female veteran, in the room. Todd DiPestino did not hesitate to speak to me. Those of you who know him probably had a similar experience. From there, I would quietly attend other local veteran events and sneak out at the end. Who cared that I served? He did. It didn't matter that I hadn't served in war or combat. He wanted to hear what my experience was. In the past, I had been barely greeted or acknowledged, warmly greeted, and made to feel welcome, and passed by and completely ignored. As a woman veteran, I have felt and experienced them all. Yet, I continue to go where I know I am welcome, and also where I am not, to represent my grandfathers, one Army, one Navy veteran, my uncle, Air Force veteran, my father, Army veteran, my husband and myself, Marine veterans, for whatever reason, did not join or support military service organizations. I started out attending and supporting various annual events with my presence, then accepted the American Legion VSO position, then sought out the Marine Corps League and was asked to take minutes at the meetings, and then I was asked to volunteer periodically at the Elks Club, wrapping Christmas gifts for veterans in our hospitals. I am now extremely proud of my military service and what administrative and other help and aid I provided while on active duty and since being discharged. Military administration wrote and still writes the history of military service, where you've gone, how long you stayed, and what you did while you were there. My sister visited recently and she told me she didn't know I was such a die-hard military veteran. I'm not, but I believe in serving and helping others in ways I know I can until I cannot. When people, both civilian and military, say, "Thank you for your service," I reply, "Thank you for acknowledging my service." Now let me thank you. To the drafted, enlisted, senior enlisted, officer, active, reserve, retired, veteran. I have read for every rifleman or infantryman, there are a minimum of at least 10 MOSs. Someone else said it's probably close to 20. That's the military occupational specialty that supports them. If you served in combat, in a combat zone, or trained for combat duty, please stand if you can. Hold your applause, hold your applause. If you served in any support capacity, flight crew, food service, supply, logistics, combat engineers, motor transport, mechanics, recon, military police, intelligence, admin, dispersing, armorer, communications, etc., please stand. Hold your applause. If you are the parent, grandparent, spouse, child, sibling, best buddy, supervisor, co-worker, neighbor, pastor of a veteran, please stand if you can. Thank you all for your service and support to veterans, respecting them, tending to their physical, emotional, and spiritual wounds. For the civilian population to respect all of us, we have to respect each one of us and the contributions we were trained to provide to each other during wartime and at peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Haya. I would like to now ask Senator Devlin and Representative Mihalik if she would please like to come up and say a few words.
Well, happy Veterans Day, everyone, and thank you for your service. I think there's something like 4% of all Americans have served. So while it seems like such a big crew here today, and I think you did just a fantastic job, Connie, and for everybody who's been working on this, it is a small community. So all these different veterans events that I have the privilege to attend year after year, I do recognize the same faces because we are small and there is, brotherhood to it, and I feel so grateful to be part of it. Aisa did just such an amazing job of telling the story of a female veteran. I feel like I could have told the same story myself, and I give her a lot of credit for just sort of bearing her soul here today. But it's comforting to just be in a room like this and be with other people that raised their hand at one point in time, and for that, we cannot thank you enough. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. My good friend, the prior speaker, she's going to come around while I give this speech and pass out a challenge coin to all of you. I don't know. I actually just found out the true story of where the challenge coin tradition came from. It was from World War I, and a squadron commander in the Army Air Corps passed a coin out to all of his pilots. And one of those pilots, American pilots, was shot down over enemy lines, and he was smuggled back to Allied lines to a French unit. And the French officer did not believe that the American was an ally, that he thought that he was a German spy. And he was going to execute him. But because he had this coin in his pocket, it proved that he was an ally, and his life was spared. So that has evolved in World War II. All those parachute rangers that went behind enemy lines always had a coin in their pocket so that they could be snuck back to Allied lines. So this is a way to say that, you know, we're together and we are one. So I have one that was made up, Marine Corps and the State Senate on the other side. So if you're a veteran, please raise your hand and we'll be around to deliver one to you. I just also want to say, you know, think about why you joined the Marine, or I'm sorry, not just the Marines. I joined the Marines. Joined the military. You know, I joined because my grandfather was a Marine on Guadalcanal, and he only died whenever I was 6 years old, and I didn't know what a Marine was, but I knew that he had a very interesting mark on his arm, and that was the Marine Corps tattoo. And right before he died, I remember up until almost the day he died, how strong he was and how he lived an honorable life. And as I continued and I learned about the Marines and I learned about Guadalcanal, I knew that that's where I wanted my path in life to go. So I went to Iraq. I was involved in rescuing an Army POW. I served in Afghanistan on the Pakistani border. And I went back for Fallujah with the Marines. And I continue to remember my fellow veterans in the State Senate. And I think back to where it all started was just that little bit of ink that somebody got in Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. And I think of, you know, he would have never have known where that little bit of ink or that one probably drunken night, a port call in Guantanamo Bay, would have led 100 years later. And I would say that all of you have that inspiration every day, and that's what this holiday is about, is the inspiration that you give and you pass on to future generations. And most of you won't even know it just by getting up and living your life. So thank you.